Okay, there we go. So sorry for the technical difficulties, but we are working on our first card for mystery stamping. If you're catching this on the replay, all that you need to go back and do is adhere your first piece of designer series paper with dimensionals, and then you'll adhere your strip that's been embossed. And then we should be ready. You'll be caught up. So we flagged this side, and then I'm just going to use glue again here. I cut my nails so short. I cannot pick anything up, so that's been interesting. But they've just been, I don't know, I take vitamins and all sorts of things, and they still just are kind of peely and unhappy, and so.
I try to draw attention not to my fingers.
Yeah.
I will not put polish on my fingernails.
Yeah, I get it. I always think, I mean, I did these like nail strips that I do sometimes, and they cover up the damage, but I also think they probably make the damage worse in the long run, but they're fun and, you know, it feels pretty every once in a while. So, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp, and I had listed in the instructions for this to be a basic white square, or rectangle, but because I ended up with such a white designer series paper, I decided to just pull the light. It's Blushing Bride. So that's what I'm doing here. And I'm just gonna use the Happy from the Pretty Perennials stamp set. And then above that, I'm gonna stamp Sending Lots Of. And so honestly, if you had a smaller sentiment that you were wanting to use, you can do all sorts of things to fill in some of that white space. Whether it's a coordinating like flower or leaves or something like that to, you know, you can stamp it off so that it's a little bit lighter than your sentiment and that kind of thing. So that was just Real Red ink that I used. And now I'm going to glue that directly onto what I've already got going here. And there's not really a right or wrong, you know, layout for all of these things. I'm just kind of making it look balanced, I guess. And once you've got that panel on, all that's left is to embellish it. So I'm going to use some Real Red ribbon from the Playing with Pets, I think is what it's called. It's a ribbon combo pack. And this is actually carrying over, which is great because it's great for Christmas, great for anything just bright and happy. And this designer paper that I used, I thought was really interesting because Bermuda Bay and Real Red are not two colors that I would put together ever, but it works and it's really cute. So. All right. And then I just am going to use a glue dot from one of my paper pumpkins to get this bow on here.
Well, shoot.
What happened?
Well, I got the round circle
Oh,
of the stamp
yes.
where I don't want it.
Yes. Do you have one of the sand erasers?
No, how do I get one of those? Because I do this all the time.
It's
I forgot my phone.
really easy to do, but this is just, it's made by Tombow. It's just a mono sand eraser. And I just ordered mine off of Amazon. I think it came in a 2-pack or something like that. So it's not 100% it will clear it up, but it definitely will help. And if it's like the halo like you've got right now, it doesn't do quite as good a job as if it's just like an offhand smear kind of thing or something like that. But I have been pulling this out a ton lately, so not sure what that says about my stamping skills lately, but you know, it's good to have.
Well, try again here.
It's just cardstock, right? Like, it's annoying, but there are certainly worse things. And I could also show you how to trim your stamps if there's a certain stamp that's causing that problem more often than others. Then we can definitely address it specifically. So
Well, lucky for me, I had an extra piece of white
oh, good.
sitting here because I wasn't really sure if
Yeah.
what we were doing. Let's see. Take that off. Where did I put this? Okay.
All right.
For love. Now I'm crooked. Now I'm panicking because I'm
Oh, don't
behind.
panic. We can always, have you flipped over? You can do the other side.
Yep, sure did. And I still got the halo. So now I'm.
Dang it. What if you put your bow kind of over that, or instead of a bow, you could wrap ribbon around that spot?
Well, it's in two spots.
Mhm.
Son of a gun.
Yeah, there's
Oh well.
always tricks to cover things, but certainly you do run out of options.
So now I'm afraid to press down on anything because I keep getting the.
Yeah. Um, I think the next time I'm with you, let's trim a stamp and we'll see if that helps. Because are you having that problem more with the red rubber than with the photopolymer? Or is it kind of everything?
Probably. I haven't really paid attention.
Okay. I
But
know you can work on the red rubber. I'm not sure exactly how to address it with the photopolymer. Um, but I also think that I have that problem more just with the rubber.
well, we're going with a crooked one.
Okay. You could also just angle the cardstock so that it's less noticeable.
Could do.
Yeah. And honestly, so I was doing those cards earlier that I was showing you, and I mean, they were just rectangles on a rectangle card base, and I could not get stuff to line up to save my life. I was so annoyed when I'd think I had it right, and then I'd turn away and I'd look back and it was crazy crooked. Like, I just decided to roll with it because, you know, nobody else is going to look that closely. And it's also the thought that counts.
Okay. So my husband was so excited because the new Godzilla versus
Yes.
uh,
King Kong, right?
King Kong. Thank you. I was like the big ape. Came out, and I think he watched it last night, and I think he's watching it again.
That's funny. I'm glad he's well entertained while you're occupied.
He thought it was very good.
Yeah, well, good. Who's in that one? Do you know?
No clue.
Yeah. I heard that it was coming out, but that's as far as I looked into it because that's just not usually my kind of go-to movie.
No, me either.
We did just finish watching the morning show on Apple TV.
Oh, yeah.
So Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon, they're both,
They've only done one season, right?
yes, yeah. And I don't know, I was not terribly sad that it ended. I mean, I really enjoyed
Oh,
it.
right.
I thought it was interesting, but it gets pretty heavy at the end, and so
That it does.
binging it out just was not something that we needed to be doing. So,
All right, I am almost done.
okay.
These will work.
I feel like I've got ink smears on this too. I just don't know what's going on lately. We had the kids so incredibly tired the entire time we were in Texas that my daughter slept all through the night, the whole time we were there. And then last night it was like we'd never been gone, and she was right back to her tricks during the night. And I just don't know what to do with her.
Okay, I'm finished.
Okay. Oh, I love it. That turned out so good. Okay, so that's Rococo Rose, right?
It is terracotta tile.
Oh, is it? Wow, the colors are not coming through on my little bitty thumbnail.
It's
So,
terracotta tile and the brown.
okay,
Early.
the early espresso.
Yeah.
I love that. What stamps did you use?
So I just got that new Vine design.
Oh, nice.
I like that font a ton.
That's a really pretty set, and it was one that I did not see anything with until the last, I don't know, month or something. So it's fun. Well, good. All right. Well, I'll give you a second to reset everything. And I use these cute little resin hearts on this one. I don't know. They're very cheerful. And I feel like hearts go on lots and lots of different things. So nice. So this next one is kind of a weird fancy fold.
Oh, okay.
It's easy, super easy, but it's just, since it's a different card size, when I was getting the measurements for it, I was like, oh, I don't understand what's going on here. And then it came together and it's pretty cute. So it makes this little easel. And so it'll fold flat into your little square, and then you just set it up like that. And so as you are laying everything out, you think it should open to the left, or at least I did for some unknown reason, but it's actually going to pull open to the top. So that's what we're up to here. So the first thing that you'll do is take your 4x8 inch piece of cardstock, and here I used Old Olive.
Okay.
And you'll score it at 2 inches and 4 inches on the long side.
2 and 4.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And then you'll just want to burnish those lines really well. So it makes, I guess that's an upside down Z. No, it's like the reverse Z. So the left edge of your card base is going to stay at the left, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. So get that done. And then the next thing that you will do is take your 4x4 inch piece of cardstock, and you're just going to glue it onto that very front flap so that it lines up evenly.
Okay.
So so that I don't mess that up, I'm only going to put adhesive on that first panel of the larger piece. All right. Then the next thing that you'll do, and I used 2 different pieces of designer series paper. So this first one is actually from the Fine Art Floral, and this is from the Playing with Patterns 6x6 stack. And I think they're actually, this is Crushed Curry and this is Bumblebee, but they look so similar because of the way this is kind of like oil painted, and so it's not a solid color, that I decided that they would work just fine together. So I'm going to do the Fine Art Floral to the outside. And
So we put that on the small.
so it'll actually go to the front square flap.
Okay.
And then this other one will go to the inside. And I can't remember if I put a small piece of white on the directions or not. I went ahead and just cut one so that I would have somewhere to write. And I'll give you the dimensions here in a second so you can.
Oh, yeah. I don't think those were in the instructions.
Okay. Yeah. So it's, I mean, it's teeny tiny, because I know I've told you that sometimes I need to send a card that I don't have a whole lot to say. So this one will be great for that. But that little piece is just 3 by 1 3/4. So it's just going to go kind of to the top part of the inside panel, because that way it won't be visible when you set up your easel.
Okay. I can add that at some point.
Yeah. All right. So once your DSP is all on there, then you're going to take your label, and I used fancy something or other, Label Me Fancy, I think is what it's called. And then I have not gotten to use the To a Wild Rose stamp set as much as I would have liked, but it's retiring and I have loved it. It's gorgeous, and the dies that come with it are really nice too. And so I just wanted to pull it out again and get to play with it. So that's what I'm doing here. And I'm going to stamp a leaf image a little bit lighter as a background. And then I'll stamp my sentiment over that. And 2-step stamping is great until you're trying to be really precise about lining things up on camera. We'll hope that turns out. Okay. All right. So let me know when you are ready for the next bit. So Emily's really starting to talk a lot more. Like she's putting 2 and 3 words together consistently and just being a whole lot more expressive and easier to understand and stuff. And so the first day that we were at the beach, she was sitting with me and just digging in the sand, and she wouldn't let me take her socks and shoes off. And she ended up getting them dirty, and then she was telling me to clean them. So I ultimately just had to strip them off. Well, and then Joe comes and grabs her and walks her down to the water and plants her feet in it. And she was mad. Oh my goodness. I mean, you could see from 20 feet away that she was not impressed with what was going on. And so she gets back over to where I'm sitting, and the first thing she says is mad. Just like over and over again. And then the next day, I think she was much more like, okay, I can handle the sand on my feet, and still didn't want to get in the water, but the water was pretty cold. I think it was probably like 65 degrees. So Joe and Jonah went and swam and did all of that kind of stuff, and I put my toes in once and called it good. But it was a good experience, and the sand and the sun were really nice. So
All right.
all right, so I am just going to grab my seal here. So what you'll do with that label, once you're done, depending on what you want to do with your ribbon, I did just kind of a Z fold with it. Let's see, so bring it together, and I do this a lot because it doesn't get as thick as a bow does, and it's also a little bit less feminine, I think. So like, yeah, this card's not super masculine, but if I needed to send it to a man, I don't feel like it would be out of the realm of acceptable, because I didn't use the roses and that kind of thing. So once I've kind of figured out how much ribbon I need, and I'm actually going to slide that back off and just put some adhesive on here. And it really doesn't take much to hold it. So just a little strip there, and then stick those back down. And there you have it. And now I'll pop it up with dimensionals to the actual card front. Even the next day, she looked at a picture of her on the beach in the water, and mad was the only thing she had to say about it. Apparently it really left an impression on her. But my 7-year-old learned how to kayak by himself, and he thought that was amazing. So that was pretty cool. Our house was on a canal, so we had a dock, and he could just pop right out into the water and go around a little bit in the neighborhood. So okay, so I sort of meant to embellish this with my leaves before I stuck the label on, but I think it'll be okay. Maybe. Sort of. No, that one really stuck. Wow. It's always when you don't want them to be sticky that they really are. Okay, so there's that. So I just did the sprig punch in Old Olive and Vellum. And then this is actually a die from the To a Wild Rose die set. And so with that one, I wasn't sure if I was going to be happy with it as just the outline, or if I needed to kind of have the backing on here as well. But I'm feeling kind of lazy, so I think we're going to go with just the outline. And then whatever other embellishing you wanted to do, it's ready. So I'm going to use the Playing with Patterns resin dots just to get a little bit more yellow on her. And these are great. The colors are really nice and kind of springy. They also come in 3 different sizes in each color. Is that right? No, 4 different sizes. And most of them are only 2 or maybe 3 sizes. So that's kind of fun. I think we'll just be like that. And then the last fancy little trick is just getting that pop up for your easel to, for it to support it. And so for that, this is just an old retired punch, and I really never use retired stuff because I think it's frustrating to not be able to tell you how to get it. But you could do one of the really little hearts, like even that one with the dog punch would be an option, or lots of the flowers come in this kind of size, like that strawberry builder punch has a small flower. So pretty easy to find something that will work. And then we're just gonna center it on here. Hopefully centered.
Did you put a dimensional?
I did a dimensional, yeah. I think you could probably make it work if you just used a glue dot, but it's a little easier if you do go ahead and pop it up, and it will still kind of squish down enough to mail easily.
And how far up on that did you go?
Let's just measure. So it looks like it's the center of my circle is about 3/4 of an inch from the bottom.
Okay.
And I know that square cards, you either have to send in a rectangular envelope or you need to put the non-machinable postage on them. But this will fit in just one of our regular envelopes. And depending on how fussy I was feeling at the moment, I might try to seal the envelope closed just a little bit so that it doesn't slide around in there. But I don't really think that that's necessary either. So.
Okay.
There it is. How's it going?
I don't know how this will show.
Oh, is that the Pretty Perennials dies that you used?
It is.
Nice. That turned out so pretty in the Oso Ombre paper.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, fun. Well, thank you for joining me. Glad we could do it.
Thanks for doing this. I'm sorry that everybody else was sleeping.
Oh, I'm missed out, right? But yeah, at least I was able to record most of this on the Zoom side, so I can put it up on Facebook. And then once I do that, if you would put your cards in the comment section, I would really love that.
Okay, yep, I can do that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, and hopefully I will see you soonish. I don't think we have card club scheduled yet for this month, so we'll have to work on that.
Did anybody say they were going to do it?
No.
I
I can send out a text and see who's interested, but
okay. I mentioned it to some book club ladies, and I said it would be a fun night to just make cards. Now, whether or not they bought anything, I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it goes. But if you get something going to where they have a good time, then that's the main thing. It's just having fun together. So
yeah, I think they'd enjoy it actually.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's really soothing because I am not a really creative person, but I always feel like my cards turn out, you know, at least so that I can pretend I'm creative. So,
Well, I think you're very creative.
oh, well, thank you. Like I said, I watch a lot of different people and copy a lot of different things. So,
Yeah.
anyway, all right. Well, I can't figure out how to take myself off Spotlight, so I can't see you. Nope, that's not going to do it. There we go. Okay, finally. Okay, there it is. So I hope that you had fun, and hopefully those layouts will come out useful for other cards that you want to make and different, different color combos and everything. So,
Yeah, for sure.
all right. Well, have a good evening. Talk to you soon.
Thanks. Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.